What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the top 3 best PvP builds in New World Season 10. This new update has shaken up the meta with the new sets, reworked perks, and some of the wildest artifact synergies we've ever seen. No matter if you're playing Wars, OPR, PvE content, or the new Nighthaven raid, the meta is completely evolving. So today we are breaking down different builds, from glass cannon assassins and fire staff blasters to the hatchet berserkers and much more. This blunderbuss and fire staff build is a hybrid frontline DPS setup. By using Molten Storm of the Shrapnel, Flame and Relentless Sustain, it thrives on overwhelming pressure and close range burst, by chaining explosions from the blunderbuss with the Searing Infernos from the fire staff. Built around a strength-based firepower and intelligent spell casting, this build turns you into a self-sustaining engine of destruction by darting in and out of combat with light armor, mobility and devastating AoE control. For attributes we want 350 strength, 50 intelligence and 100 constitution. The strength will fuel our blunderbuss to hit like a cannon, while intelligence will supplement our fire staff burns for the bonus elemental scaling. Constitution ensures that you don't crumble the moment that you dive in. We get just enough toughness to survive while keeping your explosive tempo. And we go with the light armor, as you will gain essential 20% bonus damage and unparalleled dodge freedom, which will make your rotation much smoother and evasive. Then let's take a look at the blunderbuss, and it's tuned for the pure chaos and close quarter pressure. The Azot Shrapnel Blast, Net Shot and the Splitting Grenade will form our next trio. The Shrapnel Blast is our opener and the finisher. It's short-ranged, widespread and lethal when point blank. Then Net Shot roots targets and slows their retreat by giving you the control window that is needed to dump grenades and shrapnel for the maximum burst. And then Splitting Grenade caps the combo by scattering fragments that detonate in the cluster of explosions. Every hit here will benefit from the perks like Attuned, Vicious and the Stain Infliction by letting our dots linger longer and hit harder. And then a diamond gem on our weapons will boost our overall damage output while granting sustain when healed or empowered. And then for your secondary, the Inferno Fire Staff will transform the battlefield into a fiery graveyard. You're running Meteor Shower, Fireball and the Burnout, which is the full Inferno rotation. The Meteor Shower will open fights with a burning rain, covering the area in a sustained dots. Then Fireball follows immediately by detonating on the impact for a burst of burn damage that benefits from the extended duration via the burning perk. And then Burnout is both an escape and initiation tool. This is a fiery dash that ignites enemies while repositioning. Our staff's inner power passive will grant us dual scaling with the strength and intelligence, which ensures that every hit synergizes perfectly with our blunderbuss setup. Then the gear ties everything together. The Hoplite Mask and Hoplite hand covers both provide Enchanted Ward, refreshing and key skill perks, like Leeching Shrapnel Blast and the Plague Splitting Grenade, that keeps our sustain and the crowd control very high. Then Cloud Shirt will offer Vicious, Keenly Empowered and the Lifestealer's Jot by giving us lifesteal and the burst empowerment with every critical hit. Then Attuned Leather Pants and the Azot Critical Boots will round out our defenses by adding well-rounded, shirking energy and the health. Overall, this build has the perfect balance between durability and explosive DPS. Then our jewelry will further boost the sustain and utility. The exemplary amulet will carry keenly fortified and a strike protection, which gives us short bursts of fortify and reduced incoming strike damage. Then the spectral rat ring will enhance offense with vicious, enraged leech and enchanted totality, which is perfect for pushing into sustained melee fights. Meanwhile, the exemplary earring delivers refreshment and enchanted ward by improving cooldown cycling and survivability through the reduced incoming treads. Then our heart rune, the stalwart heart rune of the bile bomb, will complement our loadout with a crippling bile and the mending bile, which allows us to slow groups while healing allies off their damage. It got a perfect synergy for AoE heavy engagements. And lastly, for the rotation, it follows two phases. First, we open with the Inferno skills, so Meteor Shower and the Fireball, to layer dots and set the stage. Then transition to the Blunderbuss, and use Grenade, then Auto Attack, then the Net Shot, then another Auto, and then the Shrapnel Blast. This quick but specific rotation will combine attacks for maximum burst. Then as your Blunderbuss abilities go on cooldown, we return back to the Fire Staff to reapply Infernal Burns and then reset positioning with the Burnout. Remember, always use your abilities right after an auto attack to maximize the burst windows. Have you ever made a build so filthy that people actually log off mid-fight? Well, that's exactly what this Greatsword and the hatchet combo does in Season 10. It's fast, it's ruthless, and it turns you into a walking blender with a dead fish. You're not surviving, but thriving off the chaos. Every swing, every dash, and every hit will push the enemy closer to uninstall the game, and it works both for PvE and PvP. It's built to shred through the healers, dodge through the damage, and turn the battlefield into a highlight reel. Let's start with the attributes. The 350 dexterity breakpoint is the magic number. It unlocks the extra crit damage and faster burst potential. The 150 strength is not just a filler. It adds the raw base power that pushes both the Greatsword and the hatchet's damage to disgusting levels. You get constant crits from the dex scaling and heavy hitting multipliers from the strength. The 25 focus is your sustain buffer, keeping stamina and the regen flowing, while the light armor ensures that you can reposition faster than anyone can react. Overall, you are a duelist and an assassin rolled into one, so no wasted stats and no dead weight. Let's take a look at the Greatsword 3. This is your executioner's tool. Relentless Rush, Roaring Rupture, and the Steadfast Strike are the 3 core skills, and together they make you a moving storm. Relentless Rush is your engage and disengage button, by letting you dash through the targets, deal massive cleave, and reset positioning instantly. Roaring Rupture is your taunt, fortify, and the grid generation all at once. You slam the ground, create shockwaves, and watch the screen fill with stagger icons. It's not just control, it's dominance. Steadfast Strike does it all together with the sustain and the cooldown recovery. You pull enemies in, then deal double hits and heal through the pressure like a vampire that refuses to die. You compare this with the passives from Defiance 3. Keep your Fortify uptime rolling, maintain the Onslaught stance for bonus damage, and never let your grit drop too low. And then on the other hand, switching to the hatchet, and this turns the tempo up to 11. Berserker, Raging Torrent, and the Social Distancing are your tools of destruction. You can pop Berserker and you instantly gain movement speed, damage, and the self-healing. Then Raging Torrent is your burst. It will give you 5 lightning fast hits that erase low HP targets and activate the Moonstone Ruined Glass or the Opal bonuses for massive scaling. And then Social Distancing gives you that slick gap closer and safety valve, letting you kite when the cooldowns are down, or punish people trying to escape. The synergy between the Berserker and the Raging Torrent is insane. You pop Torrent right as your Moonstone triggers, and you'll delete anything standing in front of you before the cooldowns even blink. Then for armor, we stay with full light. You want the dodge roll, the agility, and the bonus 20% damage modifier that makes this build hit like a truck. We run Enchanted Ward and refreshing on every piece to keep cooldowns low and your uptime high. If you can get slash conditioning or the freedom, then mix it in. And that's even better, as you will need that CC resistance when charging into the clumps. Then the Creed boots are the secret weapon for this build, which will give us bonus crit damage and weaken effects on the backstabs by turning every flank into a lethal ambush. And then for the gems we go with the opals. Next up, your jewelry should focus on aggression. On Amulet, get Divine, Health, and Shirking in power for the full offense and the full uptime. Then the ring runs Hearty, Leeching, and the slash damage or the Keen Awareness, whatever boosts your crit consistency the most. Then for the earring, Refreshing Toast, Fortifying Toast, and Regeneration gives you the sustain without slowing you down. And then the Heart Rune, the Stalwart form, is all the way to go, as it gives you Fortify, great stability, and pure momentum in chaotic fights. Then the rotation is where the build shines. We open with the Roaring Rupture to gain Fortify and set the stage. Then dash in with the Relentless Rush, heavy cancel into the Steadfast Strike to heal and reset, and then instantly swap to the Hatchet, activate Berserker, then Raging Torrent for your burst, then Social Distancing to chase or the kite, and then go back to the Greatsword for the finisher. Overall, every skill here is the pressure, and every dodge leads to another punish. This Lifestaff and Rapier build is one of the most agile and skill-expressive healer builds in New World Season 10. It's designed for players who want to heal, evade, and outplay, and not just stand behind the fight. This build dominates in 1v1s, small-scale PvP, and open-world skirmishes by combining burst healing, mobility, and invulnerability frames to make you nearly impossible to kill. Now let's move into the attributes. We are running 300 focus and 200 constitution, which provides the ideal PvP balance between healing and survivability. This amount of focus will give you the 20% healing passive at full scale for your lifestaff, while the constitution ensures that you won't get one-shotted in group fights or the 1v1s. For the rapier, we want to socket an Ember Rune Glass gem, so your damage will scale from the focus. This lets your light attacks and abilities hit harder without needing dexterity. Then now let's take a look at the life staff tree. Divine Embrace is your burst single target heal for the clutch moments, and it's perfect for saving yourself or an ally under pressure. Then Sacred Ground anchors your healing area. With Fortifying Sacred Ground, it grants both sustain and 20% armor to everyone standing in it. And finally, Orb of Protection will provide a quick cast heal, and Fortify, which gives us constant uptime on defenses while adding group sustain. You'll want passives like the Bend Light for the bonus healing after dodging, then Desperate Speed for the cooldown reduction, and Revitalize to reward light attacks with the faster ability resets. Now onto Rapier. The Fletch will give you instant repositioning and a burst invulnerability frames that will dash through the enemies or escape CC chains. Evade is your bread and butter movement skill. Its low cooldown and invulnerability window will let you dodge attacks while weaving in light hits for the cooldown reduction. And then Riposte is the start of the show. It lets you parry incoming attacks and stun enemies who overcommit. It's your get out of jail free card and a punish tool rolled into one. Together, these abilities will make you untouchable when used properly. And then key passives like Controlled Breathing, Adagio, and Perfectionist will reward timing, precision, and the stamina management, making your rapier feel like you got a second life bar. Next up we got armor and perks. We want to go full light for the 30% healing bonus and enchanted roll distance. This build will thrive on mobility. We want to prioritize refreshing, enchanted ward, and defensive perks like health or physical aversion. If possible, we can add omnidirectional evade or leeching flurry to your rapier gear for sustain and smoother mobility chains. And then artifact pieces like the featherweight will make it easier to mix heavier armor while staying in the light load category. Then for jewelry, go with the amulet that got health and protection, then a ring with a hearty and a keen awareness, and an earring with a refreshing toast and a nimble. All of these are crucial for PvP, sustain, and the cooldown control. Then next up, as I mentioned, your life staff should always run a diamond for increased healing while at full HP, while your rapier uses Ember Rune Glass to convert damage to the focus scaling. For armor, you can slot Rune Glass of Decided Onyx or Corrupted Ward, depending on your enemy's type. And then finally, let's go over the gameplay rotation. You want to open with the Sacred Ground to establish your zone of control, then apply Orb of Protection to yourself or allies for the Fortify, and then keep Divine Embrace ready for the burst heals when an ally or you will drop too low. Then swap to the Rapier when enemies get too close, Riposte to stun enemies, Evade to dodge counterattacks, and Fletch to disengage or reposition behind the enemy lines. In 1v1s, you can bait attacks with your heals, then punish with the Riposte, and reapply Sacred Ground to reset. The rhythm is simple but skillful. You heal, counter, then evade and rinse and repeat.